Hello and welcome back. In this video we'll be looking at savings plans, which depending on the context might be an IRA, which is an individual retirement account, or any other sort of saving plan that you might set up. And how they work, so this is just generally speaking, they might differ a little bit individually, but usually about once a month you add a little bit to your account, and at that point you'll earn a little bit of interest. So maybe you add $100 into your account, and whatever was in there will earn a little bit of interest at the same time. And you keep doing this, and you keep adding that same amount to your account over time. And every time you add a little bit of money to your account, you earn a little bit extra interest, but also the interest that you've already earns its own interest. And the accumulation of that over time means that the interest that you're earning every month is going to balloon, and it's going to get a lot bigger. So even though you might be investing a small amount in every month, the interest that you earn is going to start being even more than the money that you're investing. So let's take a look at the formula for this, and I'll apologize in advance. This is a big formula. It's one that I wouldn't expect you to memorize. It is one that I would expect you to write down in your notes to use either in the homework or on an exam. So here is the formula. Some of these terms we've already seen. So let's take a look at this. A is the amount that's in the account after some time. So this is just the account balance, just like before. APR again is just your interest rate. It's your annual percentage rate. One term that we haven't seen yet is PMT, and I think this stands for per monthly transfer, I believe. But it's how much you're going to regularly paying into the account. And for us, it's going to be monthly. We're only going to look at monthly payments. It could be something where you do this a couple of times a month, or maybe only a couple of times a year. But for us, we're going to look at paying into our savings account once a month. Y and N. Y is the number of years that we are investing. So for a savings account, this might be, say 50 years if you start a savings account when you're young enough, or it could be something like 40 years or 30 years. And N is how many times a year are we making payments. So if we're making monthly payments, we're doing this 12 times a year, once each month. So this is a pretty big formula. We have our regular payments times this big fraction, and this fraction has some smaller fractions into it. So we will just need to be careful when we type this into a calculator. And this is something that Desmos, I think, works really nicely for, because we can see exactly what we're typing in. So let's do a problem with this. So we set up an IRA, so an individual retirement account, just a very specific type of savings plan, at age 20 with an APR of 5%, and we make monthly deposits of $100. So the question is, how much is in the IRA at age 65? And then maybe how much did we pay into the account, so we can see how much interest did we earn overall. So we're setting up an IRA. We need to know how much are we putting into the account every month. Well, that was $100. Our annual percentage rate, our interest rate, is 5%, which is the same thing as 0.05. So good so far. How many years are we going to invest? Well, if we're starting at age 20 and we want to figure out how much is in the account at age 65, well, that was how many years? So 65 minus 20 would be 45 years later. Cool. And the last number that we need is N, which we are making monthly deposits, so we are going to be putting money into our account 12 times a year. So let's write down our formula. Okay, so this is the big one. So the money in our account is going to be PMT times a huge fraction, and we've got 1 plus our APR divided by n, all of this raised to the n times year, and that we subtract from 1, and it's just nice to put that in sort of like big parentheses on top. And then on the bottom, we have our APR divided by n as well. So let's start plugging in our numbers. So our monthly payments are going to be $100. And we're going to take this times this big fraction. So this is going to be 1 plus our interest rate, which was 0.05, it's at 5%, divided by 12, since we're paying this 12 times a year. And we're going to raise this to, okay, so it was 12 times a year, and we're going to do this for 45 years. We end up subtracting 1, just put all that in parentheses and divide the entire thing by our APR divided by 12. Hoofta. Okay, so that's a lot of numbers. So let's plug this into our calculator. So we have 100 times, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this button on the right hand side, sort of behind my face, to make this a fraction. And we've got a big set of parentheses, and inside of that parentheses, we're going to have a smaller set of parentheses. And inside of that smaller set of parentheses, we had 1 plus our APR, which was 0.05 divided by 12. So this was inside of the smaller parentheses. And then that smaller set of parentheses we're going to raise to the 12 times 45 power, because it was 12 times a year for 45 years. What you'll notice is that if I type in 12 times 45, the 45 isn't in the exponent. It drops down. So this is one thing with Desmos. We will have to put some parentheses up top as well. So this will be 12 times 45. So now it knows that the 45 needs to be upstairs in the parentheses. And then we'll subtract 1. And then on the bottom of the fraction, again, we'll have 0.05 divided by 12. And there's our formula. If we come back and we check it, 100 times 1 plus 0.05 divided by 12, all raised to the 12 times 45 minus 1, we see the same thing. 100 times 1 plus 0.05 over 12 raised to the 12 times 45 minus 1, all over the same thing. And here's our answer. So if we just round this to the nearest dollar, this is going to be 2,644 if I round to the nearest dollar. So 202,643. So at $100 a month for 45 years, that looks like quite a bit of money to have at age 65. But let's see how much did we actually pay into the account. So if we do pay $100 a month for 45 years, how much did we actually pay? Well, we paid $100 every month. Let's see here. So that was our answer to the first question. So if we pay $100 every month, and we do that each month of the year, and we do that for 45 years, this is how much money we will actually have paid into the account ourselves. So, hit enter. So I'm investing $100 a month for 12 months of the year for 45 years. So that's $54,000. So even though we only invested 54,000 of our dollars into the account, we ended up with $200,000. So we earned almost $150,000 from interest alone, just by taking $100 from our salary, from our month, each month, and investing it into a savings plan. So this looks like a good situation. And I will do one other type of problem in the next video.